programme bi wala nga bëgg sponsor programme bi wala nga bëgg dooleel programme bi xoolal ci 9926577 996 115 78 24 388 63 19 505 359 7844 rek nga bokk ci programme bi di ngeen loo wax
yaa daan maa daan moo daan coow li bëri na xarale yu bees dekkil cosaan le waa dongo
Welcome to the news from Banjul. In the headlines tonight, President Jammeh urges the youth of the West Coast region to rise to the challenge of nation building by acquiring the crucial skills capable of trusting the Gambia's development. Abdullahi Sonko receives the death sentence for masterminding the 1996 armed attack on the Farafenni barracks which killed 5 military personnel. Authorities in Senegal released from custody the rapper Omar Touré alias Chat, who is a vocal critic of President Wade's third-term bid. And a court is trying the former head of security in the Ben Ali government and 23 other people on charges of attempting to flee Tunisia and being in possession of money obtained illegally. These stories and much more coming ahead in the news. I am Ezra Dabo. You're watching the news on Grts and we thank you for joining us. The President has been addressing meetings in the West Coast region in continuation of his annual Dialogue with the People tour. Sheikh Professor Alhaji Dr. Yahya Jammeh used his presence in the region to urge young people there to acquire vocational skills and power the Gambia's transformation. That report by Abdul Jai will hopefully come in our 10 o'clock news bulletin. In a flurry of engagements at State House on Wednesday, the Vice President and Minister of Women's Affairs, Her Excellency Ajah Dr. Aissatou Seydi, met with Gambian ambassadors who have just concluded a week-long conclave on the country's foreign policy and government's priority development programs. Prior to that meeting, Ajah Dr. Aissatou Seydi received in audience Clinton Etheridge, a veteran Peace Corps volunteer who is in the Gambia with his family, to chronicle his journey to the Gambia 40 years ago. Mohamed Jallo reports.
The first to call on the Vice President was Clinton Etheridge, a veteran Peace Corps volunteer who made history as the first African-American to serve in the Gambia from 1970 to 72. 4 decades later, he's back in the country to reminisce on his distinguished service and also help his children and grandchild to discover their roots with visits to Kunta Kinte Island and Gore.
I have come back with my family after 40 years to show them Gambia, the wonderful people, and all the development that's taken place in Gambia. And the minister and the vice president were kind enough to meet my family, my 2 sons and my daughter and my granddaughter. So 3 generations of black Americans are coming back to Gambia to renew our links and ties to the motherland, to Africa, and to Gambia in particular.
Mr. Etheridge joins the growing list of people in the diaspora eager to reconnect with Africa in order to rediscover their history. This journey will therefore afford him the opportunity to retell the story which he intends to publish in a book.
This is the opportunity to fulfill the dream that my wife and I had of coming back to the Gambia, and I was able to bring my children back to Gambia. So I'm very happy and very privileged and very honored to be here.
Vice President and Minister of Women's Affairs, Her Excellency Ajah Dr. Aissatou Seydi, thanked Mr. Etheridge and family for the visit expressing the hope that it will serve as a link between African Americans in the diaspora and Gambians. The Vice President later met with Gambian ambassadors who have just concluded a week-long conclave where they discussed current national and global issues. The Dean of the Ambassadors, Jibril Juv, who is also Gambia's ambassador to Turkey, acknowledged the importance of such a meeting, which he said they briefed the Vice President on.
Coming here to Banjul to be brief, to be informed of the development policies, the new policies, the objectives of government in our development agenda will obviously enhance our work there. So it is very important because we deal with various countries and we have to sell the government programs to them. And coming to Banjul to be informed of what government wants, what government intends to do in the coming years will obviously enhance our work. So it is very important.
So hence the need to have a very close working relationship with the Immigration Department, for example, and the Minister of Interior, as well as the Directorate of Treasury, of course. Funding and resources are very important to our work, in facilitating our work. But over and above that, it also gives us the opportunity to interact with our own parent ministry. As you know, in any work situation, there must be challenges. So this also gave us the opportunity to review some of the policies of the ministry, not just of the government in general, but the ministry that is affecting the work of Gambian ambassadors and Gambian missions abroad.
The meeting with the Vice President marks the final official engagement of these Gambian ambassadors who would soon return to their various missions. But for some of them, it was yet another fruitful gathering.
Both the missions and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, which is our line ministry, have appreciated the need really to collaborate very closely, to coordinate our communications, and also, you know, make us to be more alert to work with the sectors. As my colleague in New York said, I mean, we're the sort of the interface between the government and its partners outside. And I think it is now quite appreciated, and it was emphasized in the audience with the Vice President that sectors should be more responsive to what is being sent to them in the interest of the government and the people of the Gambia.
As the diplomats wrapped up their meeting with a group photo, another veteran Gambian, Dr. Mam Juv, waited to meet Dr. Yai Sedi. Dr. Juv has just hung up his boots after a long career at the ECOWAS Commission.
The main thrust of my mission here was to convey my gratitude and appreciation to His Excellency President Jammeh for the support I have had over the years during my tenure in ECOWAS, and for the unflinching support I have always had from the Gambia government. I thought it would be remiss on my part if I do not come in to say thank you to the government and to wish them well.
Dr. Mam Juv has meanwhile given his commitment to Dr. Yai Sedi to contribute in any way he can to the development of the country, whilst at the same time hoping that the country will consolidate the gains already registered. Mamadou Diallo, GRTS.
Representatives of institutions with stakes in the education sector are leading policymakers reviewing the 2004-2015 education policy. The midterm review, called by the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education, will identify challenges that cropped up during the implementation of the first phase of the policy document and identify means of meeting the education-related Millennium Development Goals by 2015. We have more in this report by Babakar Kamal.
The 2004 to 2015 education policy is once again gaining momentum as stakeholders and its very architects gathered for a day's midterm review.
In revising our policy, we need to bear in mind that it's not only our 2004-2015 policy that we are revising, but we need to also consider the issues that we have signed up to regarding education for all, which had also set targets for 2015.
The 10 years blueprint subsides its initial review period in 2009 due to factors considered by officials as a landmark success in their drive to provide quality education for all.